So just remember that you can concatenate strings. Good news, right? You can use the plus operator to join them together, concatenate them together, and produce longer strings. So the examples of it here. One warning is that this is a good example that where some things could go a little bit unexpected. And you know, it's kind of silly to see a string, then plus 12, plus something else, and those are two numbers. And you might think, oh, we really kind of should really kind of like compute 12 plus 26 and then add it to the string. But that's not what is happening. Again, this silly example because this could be an x, the name of the variable. It doesn't matter as long as this is an integer and this is an integer. As long as those are two integers. What happens here is that, remember we talked about the precedence rules and associativity of operators. This is what happens. This entire expression is examined. Okay, it contains two operators. Both are plus signs, which means it's a binary plus sign. And in case of a string, when the first operand is a string, is considered to be that particular concatenation operation. Okay, so we have concatenation and we're attempting to do it twice. So because the two operators here have the same precedence because it's the same operator, and their associativity, I still have the chart someplace here, right? So the plus sign associativity is left to right. That's exactly what is happening when the actual expression is evaluated. Where was it? My slide. So this happens first because plus sign says my processing should be taking place from left, from here, to right. And the result will be another string already concatenated. And now this resulting string will be processed by yet another plus. So this string, already done and finished, will be concatenated with this. That's because of the precedence rules and associativity of operators, and this associativity left to right. So what happens is that the result is that the sum is 1226, which is maybe not what you expected to see. Interestingly, if the associativity of plus was right to left, then it would go from here first. It would start from the right-hand side and try to add this first, and then, of course, produce the result of adding 12 to 26, which is what, 38, and then adding 38 to the string. But that is not the case, because the associativity of plus is not right to left, but rather left to right. So there you go, where the associativity of an operator may be affecting your thinking, because what you may be thinking is that doing this, right? Parenthesizing it and saying, oh, wait a minute, let's add this first and then concatenate it with a string. So something to remember. Okay, just kind of clarifies that even the simple expression comes with its territory. You really have to pay attention to it, and it's slightly different than what you could do in your algebra class, because the rules of the programming language are the rules of the programming language, and so they may be affecting the dynamics of what is happening. Another note here, also, because since we're touched this topic, when you look at an expression like this, or at an expression like this, which basically involves some number crunching, some manipulation. There's number of operations attempted, and there's multiple operands involved. There could be the case where we could be making method calls here and calling other methods to obtain the results. In that case, it is also that it is very difficult to predict in which order those calls will be taking place. So there's another layer to consider in the future when we start discussing method calls, where you have to be really careful with constructing your expressions. And the answer is almost always use parentheses to clarify the order in which you expect this expression to be evaluated. All right? So there's never wrong thing to use parentheses around the pieces of your expression, which would be technically called sub-expressions. Okay, so a few more minutes. Java API and how to join strings. We discussed this already. How to, just small examples of everything that's has been already discussed. There's a shorter version of appending to the string. I will talk about this uh, next week, starting from this slide here. So. We really will be speeding things up, but I would truly encourage you to, over the weekend, please research the scanner class. Try to use, for example, you could go here and say Java scanner, and you can even say, example or tutorial. Very useful. So search for the tutorial. There are lots of Oracle tutorials, and you can, try to open one of these tutorials and try to go through this. I am bringing this up because those official Oracle Java tutorials are designed in such a way that they're friendly to the beginner at the beginning of it. It may be getting more complicated towards the end of this tutorial and elsewhere, where you can see that you're actually right here and there's more to it, right? Or there's something to read before it. So this outline gives you, like, idea of where you're looking at and what else is involved. So, but typically the start of these tutorials, the official Oracle tutorials, is very intuitive and very simple. If you do experience some difficulty reading this information later on, that's okay. You can just give it up at that point because we're just starting talking about this. But I would encourage you to, explore existing tutorials, and you can try something like Java Scanner, something like beginner tutorial, and maybe you can come across some other YouTube tutorials that exist there. So the beginner keyword really kind of puts you on the path of looking the most simple examples. So please try to look at this in preparation for next week. So I was hoping to maybe at least introduce Scanner and start some testing with it, but I don't want to jam it into today's session, and so we can happily do it next week. So